So it's been almost a month since the fall season started, which means that pretty much all the shows have come out, and people pretty much know what they're gonna be watching. This is especially an interesting season with a lot of promising series, but I get a sense that there's one people are sort of glancing over. Why? Well, for starters, it's not a TV series, but rather an ONA, or Original Net Animation, and it also premiered fairly late in the game on October 22nd. Now, what could I possibly be talking about but Luger Code? And I know what people are going to be thinking while they're watching this. There's a Luluco ONA? I love Trigger. How did I not know about this? Well, stop right there. Not Luluco. Luger Code. 1951. I was actually very much looking forward to this series for a few months now, and at first, myself and many others thought it would be a TV series. Most anime sites seemed to say it was a series, and it was in general based off this Shonen Jump writing contest, where the winner would get 2 million yen and a manga and anime adaptation. So this is what won that contest, and I can't help but wonder if this is some sort of pilot episode, and that if it's successful it will become a full show, but I'm not entirely sure, it's not completely clear. Now you may be thinking because I was looking forward to it that I thought it was going to be good. Well, actually it's rather the antithesis. I thought it was going to be bad. Really bad. Studio Dean teaming up with the writer of Aldno Zero, Big Order, and Boku no Pico? Sounds like a recipe for disaster, but a recipe for an extremely enjoyable disaster at that. So needless to say, when Luger Code came out last week, I had to watch it the minute I found out. Was Luger Code worth it? To that I say, yes it was. Luger Code focuses on this young prodigy who's a university professor, tasked with deciphering a code created by werewolves to communicate. The Luger Code. He's dying to study it, and because it's so hard to decipher, he decides to embark on a journey through the frozen tundra to catch a werewolf that could be the link in helping him crack the code. Now, one of the first notable things Luger Code manages to do within its 25-minute runtime is find an extremely contrived way to include the title into the series. We can't kill the werewolf, I need to find out her Luger Code title nod. When you're watching Flying Witch, for example, you'll never hear one of the characters spout out, "Oh, look over there, a flying witch!" Why? Because it always comes off as silly. Now, this isn't a knock against shows that have the title named after a character or something important in the series. I just think that in this case, if they truly wanted the concept of the Luger Code to not feel so cheesy, they could have used an ounce of subtlety. And if there is one word that does not at all manage to describe Luger Code, it's subtle. The ONA takes itself really seriously while also being extremely over the top and pretty dumb. I found it especially hilarious when the show managed to contradict its own laws of physics by having the main kid run over a werewolf earlier with his van and send him flying back, but then later accidentally tries to run over that same werewolf again, and then the van gets sent flying without the werewolf even doing anything. He was just standing there. How could something like that even happen? The music feels as over the top and corny as it could possibly be with its really loud, blaring score the minute the wolves come on screen. What makes it worse is how tense the voice acting is with how stern and serious the characters are trying to sound. The music ends up clashing with the voice acting as a result, and it just comes off as pure camp. The characters themselves feel very tropey, with Testa feeling like a pretty bland lead whose only really memorable trait is the fact that he's smart. Alex Rosa, Testa's partner who gets him out of rough situations, feels like a direct rip of Doppo Kunikita from Bungo Stray Dogs, if you removed anything that fleshed out his character and just kept him as this angry, no-nonsense guy with glasses who has a bit of a softer side to him. The wolf girl Yonaga is not a particularly great character either, since her character motivations for not liking either the werewolves or the humans don't feel terribly justified by the end of the production. The background characters, on the other hand, are just dumb as bricks. They seem to not be informed about anything that's happening around them. They don't know about the Luger Code, they don't know what's up, they don't know anything. and they make really stupid and rash decisions that only add to the anime's body count. And, dare I say it, the production values. Oh, the production values. The characters go off model so much, it's insane. Faces shrink and expand all the time without explanation, and continuity is extremely questionable. Half the time I couldn't even tell whether or not the main dude was supposed to look like a character from Gundam Seed, or a character from Nabari no O. Action scenes near the end feel so awkward as the werewolf is constantly switching between running away from our protagonist and being a supposed clear threat. But it's because of all these janky and strange choices that Luger Code is just so enjoyable. The ONA's director, Shinya Takahashi, is certainly no newcomer to anime, having worked on many series and OVAs over a long period of time. This is his directorial debut, and it actually feels a lot like he was taking influence from old schlocky 90s OVAs. The later half of Luger Code especially felt very reminiscent of Biohunter, an old OVA of which Takahashi did key animation on. Luger Code's charm rests within the same charm those schlocky OVAs do. It's stupid, takes itself way too seriously, makes very little sense, but never loses its sense of fun. This is why part of me would not want to see more episodes of this in the future, because I feel like even with a 1952nd episode, it might just start to overstay its welcome and lose that charm, leaving it with very little value overall, which I don't want to see. But maybe, just maybe, I'm underselling writer Katsuhiko Takayama's abilities. After all, that trollish, pixelated grin in his My Anime List picture is the grin of someone who fully knows what he's doing, and just doesn't care. With all this in mind, I would still recommend Luger Code 1951 to anyone who's looking for pure schlock and stupid fun. It's not the best of its kind, but if you put this on, get a friend or two to watch it with you, you're bound to have a fun time. And I'd say that there's definitely some value in that kind of fun. Thank you for watching. Special thanks to Skrulls, the World War II dragon, for helping me come up with the title to this video. If you liked it, please feel free to give it a like, as well as subscribe if you want to see similar videos to this in the future. Discord links in the description if you'd like to chat about Luger Code. And as always, I'll catch you later.